Happy holidays. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. If you'd like to see more panel videos like these, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button, comment down below, give me a like, and remember, I'm on Cameo if you'd like a special shout out from me, and it's recording time!
They deserve their own applause, their own mics, their own introductions. So let's start off with, he's the Man of Steel, ladies and gentlemen. He is Superman, George Newbern. And she is every bit as sexy in real life as she is on the screen.
Easy.
That is Diane Pershing as Poison Ivy.
Thank you.
We have one extra spot here.
Oh, we
so-
do? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come over.
I think it's a full house tonight.
All right.
Perfect.
All right.
I got a straight flush. Any poker players here?
You know, we're going to try to alternate. So we got boy, girl. So next we're going to have who's just as lovely as she almost elbowed Diane out of the way. And that is Hawkgirl herself, Maria Canals-Barrera.
Hi, everyone.
And then we get to someone that we've all seen for our entire lives on TV, and every time you see him, you smile and you're excited to see him because he's one of the great character actors. He's one of those that guys that we love to see, and that is the great Robert Costanzo.
Get the paramedics. Where's my cane?
And then last but no means least, she is a wonder just by herself. Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Eisenberg, Wonder Woman.
Look like Brad Pitt with my mask on, so take it off.
So,
Hello.
I'm pretty sure we have the mics on. If not, we have agents.
Test. This is on.
Yes.
It's low. I can hear it.
low.
We're theater people.
Mine's
Yeah.
off.
Okay,
Is
mine.
it off?
Yeah.
I think mine's on.
Yeah, we got some on.
Yeah.
We'll,
You can hear me in Fresno
we'll
anyway.
work it as soon as they come back.
Mine's on.
Oh.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, you're on. How about this?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
on.
You're always
You're
on,
So we
Maria.
have to share a little bit for a second, but
We're so
what I love about this group right here is that it is a massive amount of talent that has come from various different ways of. There is no one way to becoming a voice actor. We've got George. You've been around. I remember you in Father of the Bride.
Yes,
when You were
yes.
just a wee lad.
Yeah, I'm 92.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if you want to go way back, we've got Dog Day Afternoon with Robert. He was uncredited in that.
wow.
Jeez, you really are old.
I was starting out. We were all actually, sort of quote unquote serious actors, but we, worked as extras in that
Yeah.
while we were studying and looking for our big break.
That's a good one to be an
Yeah,
extra.
you were also, my favorite
up?
part of yours is because when I go, I'm going to be talking to Robert Costanzo, they're like, he's from Total Recall. Which one? Rico.
Well, the good, no, I think was the better one.
Yeah, that
At the
was.
risk of sounding, presumptuous.
Well, you were great. You were a bad guy.
Man,
in
big
that.
words for a moron, huh? You got to be smart to play a dope,
That's right.
So,
right?
Yes.
so let's talk about how you guys got into your
Play many
particular
of them.
characters and how you got introduced. Because Diane, you've been doing this for quite a while. Even though you look
Yeah.
young, you still
Thank
have been
you.
doing it quite a while.
Oh, 45 years, yeah. Something like that.
So when they told you that you were going to be doing Poison Ivy,
They didn't tell me that. I was there that day that Pretty Poison, which is the first time we see Poison Ivy, I was there that day to do extra roles, just a phone operator or a cop or something like that. And the actress, and I actually know her name, but I shall not mention it, who had been chosen to be Poison Ivy, the producers felt that her acting chops weren't quite up to it. So the director, Andrea Romano, said to me, would you like to audition for this? And I said, sure, because you always say that. And I looked at the picture and I thought, yeah, sexy, but also an intellectual. Yeah, I can do this. Bam, I got it.
All right.
It's great.
And did you know anything about any of the Batman DC things going on before? Like, did you know Poison Poison Ivy before you were told?
I was a complete moron when it came to anything like that. No, I hadn't been followed. The last time I had comic books was Archie,
Me too.
you know, long time ago. No, I really knew nothing.
But she was a sexy intellectual, so apparently that's what you needed.
Apparently, I've always
That's right,
had
she
been,
is,
yes.
that's right.
And George, when they tell you Superman, you know Superman.
I did, but I didn't really, hold on a second. I didn't really know, is this on even?
It's
Is
on,
anything
it's just
on?
very, it's all on, but it's very low. I don't know what's going on.
I can talk loudly.
Here, this one works.
Yeah, it's okay. No, it was just an audition. I didn't know, I thought it was a one-off, like one episode of something. And I didn't know I was replacing Tim Daly. I knew nothing because I just got in my car and I went. And then when I read the speech, he goes, oh, it's a Superman speech. Oh, I'll do the Superman speech. And then I literally thought it was one-off. So then it turned into 17 years. There you go. So.
But I'm sure you didn't know that Tim Daly was doing it, but
I didn't. I knew Tim. He was doing Wings and he was unavailable. I mean, it happens all the time. People, some people have to
But
drop out.
how do you get the Christopher Reeve out of your head? Because when I think of Superman, there's been a lot of great ones.
Yeah.
Hamill's great, but Christopher
Right,
Reeve
yeah.
is the guy.
I did a movie with Chris Reeve 10 years prior to that, and we became friends, but I didn't think I was ever going to do anything related to Superman. But in my head, I just kind of, I just channeled my older brother who was a sort of an Eagle Scout, and I just thought, this is who this guy is, so that was it.
There you go. And Maria, did you know anything about Hawkgirl? Because that's kind of a, I wouldn't call it obscure, but it's not the one that everybody knows Batman, everybody knows Wonder Woman. But
Right.
Hawkgirl is a little bit more obscure.
Yeah, I did not know Hawkgirl. But when Andrea Romano asked me to audition, I had
Turn my mic, I think, is on.
hello.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you. So when Andrea Romano asked me to audition, I had been recurring on another show, Static Shock, in a smaller role. And so I remember it was very exciting. I didn't know who she was, but that's what I'm used to. But there was a great description of her missing her home planet, Thanagar, and I remember that I'm from Miami and I'd been in LA a few years, and I missed Miami things with the Cuban culture. My parents are from Cuba, the food, the music, and the city, just there's so much Cubanness there, and so I'm like, and I remember in LA I'd be like, oh, I saw this Cuban drink called a Malta, and I bought it and I put it in the fridge, and I didn't even like a Malta, but I would look at it and go, oh, Malta. And so I used all that longing and missing for the audition, and I just, as an actor, you bring those things that are like the character up to the surface, and it worked, and I got the part, and it was very exciting, and I'm very grateful to have people still interested in talking about the project that we all got to do, which is wonderful. Yeah.
As I continue down the list, Robert, you're kind of known for your voice, because
Yeah.
if we need a New York guy, regardless.
And I'm from North Dakota. It's incredible.
That's how
That's,
talented.
that's hecting, as they say. No, I'm from Brooklyn, which is in New York.
Oh, that's-
Although there is a Brooklyn, Kansas, and a Brooklyn, Texas.
well, there's
My
everything.
dad, who really sounded Brooklyn, more so than
Really?
anyone.
I don't know how that's
He used to
possible.
go when he came out and hung out with me a while. Actually did a little acting himself. We never pushed him, but he was sort of a natural. And he used to meet people and say, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And I go, Dad, the New York is superfluous. You don't need to say that. How do you know? There's a Brooklyn, Kansas. I go, believe me, they'll know. Trust me. But Bullock, yeah, I used to read Batman comics, and some of you can help me maybe here. Bullock, when did he actually get introduced?
1981.
When was that?
The character showed up in 1981.
1981, right, and
I
we
wish there was a
were quite a bit,
prize.
thank you for that, because
Impressive.
I remember, of course, I watched the Adam West thing, and I loved it. It was so, trashy and so campy and fun. And I read the comics years ago, but I don't remember Bullock. And when I went down to read for it, they said a potential series regular, which we always hear anyway, but it was. And Andrea said she sort of had me in mind, and they signed off on me. And
It's done.
I guess, the rest is nonsense or history or something. Anyway, that was how that happened.
And then finally we have Susan as Wonder Woman. Now there's been a lot of things, especially Wonder Woman's back in a huge way
Yes.
recently. And I have to say that I will give you a lot of credit for that, because the animations, and I'll give all you the credit, I think DC Animation has saved the DC universe, because I don't know why they just don't steal the stories from you guys, because the stuff they put in the live action is not
Not
good,
as
but
good,
you
I agree
guys are
with you.
great, and the voices are great. And so how do you like to see the resurgence of Wonder Woman, and how did you get to become Wonder Woman?
Oh, two-part question.
Yes, you get a two-part, and then one.
Well, how I got it was just auditioning like every actor does, and then I got a call back. And so I went and I read for Bruce Timm and Andrea Romano, our casting director and voice director. And, you know, after that audition, I waited a few weeks and then got the good news that changed my life. But in terms of the resurgence, you know, I mean, I'm sure all of you in this room saw the Wonder Woman movie, the feature, and then the second one. So it's glorious to see it. And I think especially for the fans who've been waiting, not to take anything away from Superman and Batman, but Wonder Woman hasn't had her own solo show or solo film or solo video game. So
Women, yes!
to see all that happening is so gratifying. And I agree with you. I think that the animation made a huge difference in the story arc. I don't, I mean, this might come off a little, I don't know, bitter, which I don't want to come off. But I think that oftentimes in the story, the animation gets forgotten. So I appreciate you saying that, because I think so many people, like we meet at the con, say, I met Wonder Woman through the Justice League, or I met Batman, Superman, Hawkgirl. And so if you're introducing characters for the first time to these awesome characters, I mean, I think it has to be included in the story. So thank you for thinking that and saying it out
Yes,
loud.
I know I'm not talking alone. I know the executives may not know what's going on, but everybody who watches the shows and then watches the movies, which, huge crossover.
Yes.
We know. We know exactly where the origins of why everything should be as good as it is. That's why
Right.
we get disappointed, because we watch the television,
Right.
the cartoons, and then we go see some things and go,
Womp womp.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and this is going to be my last question, then I'm going to open up to you guys, because I know they'd much rather talk to you, because I've been hovering around them all weekend. And in fact, Robert's got a restraining order, that's why I'm not here. But when there's so many iterations of your characters, so that no one here is the only one that's ever done it, how do you make it yours? How do you make it different, so when you put your stamp on it, because like Robert does Bullock, how do you do it like Donna Loge doesn't? Because he does the live action Bullock. How do you make it your own when you do it?
Everything one does is their own.
Right. Is there anything specifically you try to do? 'Cause
In the
you are
case of
limited.
Bullock, no, I just tried to maybe make him a little more, I don't know, guttural, slovenly, or a little more like that. I don't know, maybe, I think.
But we originated the roles, so whatever they're doing after us is,
Well, some have. I mean, you Poison Ivy.
I originated Poison Ivy,
But
yeah.
then we have Uma Thurman coming through it. And Superman, we've had different.
Several, yeah.
Not necessarily in animation.
But you're asking us how we make it different. We don't have to, because we created it.
No, you
No,
did,
no.
but not.
Yeah,
did.
no,
No,
But,
okay.
yeah, but I think the answer, what you said was that
Yeah.
you can only be who you are
Yeah.
in these
Yeah.
things, and you bring your own experience to it. So it's it'd be harder to work in a way to say, I've got to not be like that. So
Well,
you
Yeah.
just don't
right.
think about it, you just say, how
I
does it resonate in you as a,
Yeah.
Well, it depends, I know what you're asking. It depends on the actor, and that's good that you didn't have the temptation to mimic something, or even like subconsciously mimic something that you've seen if it's out there in the world, especially these iconic characters. So as actors, we are supposed to use our authentic selves, our real interpretation, and that's why every Hamlet is different. Hamlet is the actor who's playing Hamlet. That's why we go, oh, let's go see Kevin Branagh play Hamlet. Let's see, Olivier's Hamlet. Let's see George Hamlet, you know, it's like, so it's about that challenge of trusting your authentic self. If I were this person in this situation, feeling these things in that moment, what would I do? Using yourself, and that's great that it comes easy to you, because it doesn't for everybody. And you know, an imitation is going to be a poor rendition of somebody else's work. So, who wants to see that? But the temptation is there, either consciously or subconsciously, to do that. So, I love that. You know, you hear Susan talk, and I just love Susan's voice. I remember when I first met her, I was like, "That's your real voice. You're not putting it on." That's such a blessing, because there are very talented voice actors that, you know, put it on, and it's not necessarily quite as wonderful as when it's your own. And so she really, I remember, she was not Linda Carter. She was not any of the other Wonder Women that I had seen, and she was just so different and cool, and so let her tell you.
Well, before we do it, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's
Oh.
Supergirl.
There she is.
It's Krypton.
It's Krypton.
I
She is.
was solving crimes.
You can share this with me, my
And
dear.
there wasn't room on the panel.
And I'm Dog.
We could all move over a
Yeah, we
bit
can
here,
go.
yeah.
Sure,
It's really snug,
There we are.
but
Yeah, it's
yes,
getting there.
great.
So now we got a mega panel. This is
Back up.
this is nice to see you.
I was solving some serious
Hey.
crimes, and saving lives. So I'm here now.
Great to see you. So we're going to talk to you real quick, because as you just got it, as we got through everybody.
Oh,
how
has
did-
everybody gone through? You've gone through.
We did. We got through them once. We were
My
asking-
friends.
Get to talking.
And I also did the
Oh gosh.
The audience is yawning, wake them up. Wake them up.
So, being Supergirl, how did you become Supergirl? What was that like, the whole situation? Did you?
I think I auditioned around 9 times for Supergirl. I went back in and out. I was 14, I think, and I really didn't know what I was getting into. Like when I auditioned for it, I didn't know. I didn't really know. I knew that Supergirl was awesome and super, but I didn't realize how super she actually is. Like to be able to play that part was amazing. It was so much fun. It went on for 14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Longer.
Well, I'm going to open it up to the group, because I know that everybody, like I said, they'd much rather talk to you guys. And I'm also one of the laziest moderators here. My job is to
I'll
just
vote
make
on
sure-
that.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice to be able to do this gig, because there's a room full of people with these talents. Anybody have any questions for them? Right there, this red shirts, because you may not live long enough for the whole thing.
Oh.
What's a red shirt?
What's a red shirt mean?
It's Star Trek that holds it down for us.
Thank you.
When did you know you'd betray the team?
What? I can't hear you, dear.
When did you know you'd betray the team?
When did I know I'd be what?
Betray the team.
Oh, spoiler alert. When did you know you
Short
would betray
time,
the team?
like not, I had very little advance notice. And they don't tell actors anything. We're the last to know. And I was foolishly upset. I thought, what? Why did they do this to me? Not realizing until several days later that it was a gift, that writing conflict only creates more drama and makes the character more interesting and the show more interesting and gives me more opportunities to play all kinds of nuances, and it was great. So yeah, I knew, I don't know, like a week before?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so glad it happened.
Any questions? Right there in the blue and mask there. Yeah.
If you could have voiced any other character in the DC universe, would you have changed your character that you're voicing?
If we could have
Anybody.
changed it, I wouldn't want to
If
change
you could be
it.
anybody else in the DC universe.
Who would
Oh,
it be?
yeah. Oh, anybody else? I thought you meant within the same character, okay.
No. Robert, do you ever want to be Batman? Can you say I am vengeance?
Wow, I would, that would be curious. I'd have to like, probably channel my inner,
In her who?
Gielgud or something, I don't know. Somebody with Gregory Peck, probably do. Actually, I thought you was, when you initially asked about doing the character and the voice, and I said, it does come from ourselves, but is my mic shot now? Or am I shot?
We gotta get you, so.
But I originally when I got the role, I told Andrea I wanted to do like a kind of an Archie Bunker kind of Irish Queens guy over there. That wanted, but they squelched that. They wanted like me. So there you go. I mean, what can you do? But yeah, Batman would be really ridiculous for someone to cast me as Batman.
I have vengeance over here.
Yeah. Imagine Robin going, forget about it, Batman. What do you mind? Because people are talking about us with the cape living together, not for nothing, That's another show.
Nicole, is there another character you would ever want to be?
No, you know what?
You're so happy being
I'm
Supergirl?
happy with Supergirl. Yeah.
What about you, Diane?
I am, this is not on at all, okay.
These are
I
on.
am thrilled to be Poison Ivy, and it's interesting what Maria just said. My natural speaking voice is this, that's not Poison Ivy. I had to create a different voice for her.
Right.
And I also had to have sort of a cosmetic, sexy sort of feeling, because I think she looks like Tinkerbell on hormones. and then she's a PhD, so I had to have an edge to it.
Yeah.
So we make a sexy voice with a little bit of an edge to it. So I'm one of the people that changes her voice to do the character,
Sure.
although I think I bring a lot of myself in anyway.
Perfect.
Yeah, so.
Because you are edgy and sexy.
Stop! I'm a grandmother, stop!
It's Marlene Dietrich, right? They don't know that.
Want to bounce around, Susan? Is there? Because Wonder Woman's like the one, so it's difficult. It's difficult to go. I want to be someone else because Wonder Woman's like amazing.
Supergirl? Yeah, no, I mean, I'll stick to the Amazonian princess.
Yeah.
No, she's, I think we got the job in 2000, started recording in 2001, so she's been my constant companion now for a while, and she's had a huge impact on my life. And no, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, and it's been the biggest gift of my professional life. So, and it's bled into my personal life, because she inspires me to be a better person. So, no, I wouldn't switch it for anything.
I'd like to be Flash. I think it'd be fun. I have a little bit of the ADD, I think, like he does.
Yes, you
Kind of
do.
giggly and crazy. And
And he's a
like,
little quirky too.
yeah, good. I think it'd be fun to do.
He's funny.
Yeah.
Flash gets to be funny.
Gets to be funny.
Yeah, we didn't really, the Trinity, not so much with the funny, but Flash and, Flash got all the funny lines.
Yeah.
Like
Who does Flash?
for fun, I'd like to be Superman because
There you
he's
go.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Yeah.
I love his goodness
Mm.
and his purity. But I also like Batman's dark side and his
Oh, for sure.
brooding.
See,
It's,
Swagger.
so if I could do it for fun, I'd like to just pretend and have fun and be them. But I'm very satisfied being Hawkgirl.
In the far in the back, because I've done this side, so I'm trying to alternate.
Why do you think the DCAU show still resonates so much 20 years later with fans?
Why do the shows still resonate?
Because it was brilliant. I mean, just
The
writing was extraordinary. The people who did the show knew the world and cared about it and were smart and didn't write down to an audience.
Yes.
They challenged the audience.
Yes, it was very cinematic.
And it, I think it was really magical because I think it was like a perfect union of the writing, the directing, the acting, because I think we got very lucky with our cast. I mean, when we get together, we love being together. We've done Comic-Cons where we read scripts from the Justice League and we fall right back into our characters. So, and you have brilliant, Bruce Timm is our leader, and then you put Andrea Romano, and then you put all those writers and producers on there, and directors, and then you get George Newbern. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on. And Kevin Conroy.
Kevin
Come
Conroy.
on. Hashtag Wonder Bat.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy, the one and true Batman.
Yeah,
Everybody else
yeah,
is
he
an
is.
impression of him, so it's very good. Back on this side, right here with the
If any of you could add another power to your characters apart from what they already have, what would it be?
Another power.
Power, yes.
How interesting.
I have no powers.
What would,
My first one.
what would your first power be?
My first power would be being better looking. So I wouldn't have to be so slovenly, but
Clayface.
but then yeah, but then he wouldn't be a good foil for the Bat guy, I guess. You know, it's sort of classic. You know, the leading man and then the sloppy detective. It's, you know, kind of tried and true relationships in cinema, TV. Yeah.
I guess I'd like to have had the power to grant wishes.
So genie powers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Now, would you allow unlimited wishes, or would you do the 3? Because that's always been the hook.
Well, I think I would like it to be unlimited,
Okay.
because sometimes the 3 is, you know,
Monkey
you
paw
get
situation.
into trouble and then you gotta fix the 3 with the other ones.
So unlimited wishes, that's the good way to go. She's smart.
Yes.
Dan?
Can't think of a one.
Okay.
Give me, tell me.
That's because you already have that superpower naturally. Just emanate sexiness, so you don't.
What is this sexy thing?
It's
I
poison
mean,
ivy.
It's the voice.
Oh, you're not talking about me then.
No.
Oh, no, we are. Oh, it's okay then.
You're sexy as well.
I know, no, I'm actually past sexy, thank you. But yes, Poison Ivy is sexy.
Right, but
And I think there was one episode I did, House and Garden, where she has this family and she looks like she's finally got the husband and the kids that, you know, inside, whatever. And then at the end, it turns out to be plants.
Yeah.
I'd like her to be able to have a real family and a real life. That's the power I'd like her to have, just once.
Oh.
Yeah.
very nice.
That's very generous of me, I know.
George, Superman's
You
got a
know,
lot
I
of
think
powers.
he's got a lot of powers. I wish he could be stronger at deflecting electricity. He seems to get electrocuted a lot. And it's really hard to scream for that extended period of time.
I was gonna say,
Someone like
voice
less
actor?
shocking.
Yeah,
Less shocking, please.
We got electrocuted a lot.
A lot.
And it was a drag, I gotta say.
Yeah, and you freeze up, you can't move,
It's a
you just
drag to have
scream,
to
it
voice
sucks.
that.
Yeah, it's awful.
Do you like clench your teeth like you would?
Yeah, it's
get
hard,
it
but
out.
that's actually not a good way to.
It's hard.
terrible.
No, I know. That's why it's always best to audition with your natural voice. That way, you
That's
don't have
right.
to. If you come in there screaming,
Yes.
you're gonna have to scream that entire role if they like you. So you want to kind of start with, "Hey,
Yeah.
how are you?" And then that way. So Maria, what would you Hawkgirl do
Okay,
different or
I
add to it?
already fly.
Yeah.
I'm already really strong.
Mm,
I'm already hot.
Yeah.
Maybe being invisible is kind of cool, or seeing the future, telekinesis, or moving things, or
Good ones.
something like
Anything
that.
with tele in it is fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Telecommunications. Hello, can I take your order?
Hello.
Something cool. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be greedy. Look
Yeah,
at us.
right.
We're already
Come on.
super strong and can fly. Come on.
Everybody always wants a little bit more. Wonder Woman's got a lot of stuff going for her.
Oh, he's talking to me, right? I was hoping I could duck this question. You know,
I know what you want. Your invisible helicopter bag.
airplane.
Yeah.
You were so close.
I do want that. Invisible would be cool. I think invisible would be good. That's good. Flying, though, is my favorite. I mean, I love the flying. And, you know, like, people always ask, I've never gotten asked this question. I've always been asked, what if you were a superhero, what would you want your superpower to be? And the flying is really up there for me. But I guess invisible would be pretty amazing.
Harry Potter's invisibility cape. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool,
Very
especially
cool.
when you're fighting the bad guys. I think it's important.
That always confused me why you could see Wonder Woman in the invisible plane.
Right.
And you'd think that once you're inside of it,
You wouldn't
you'd
be able
also
to
be
see-
invisible
yeah,
as
you'd
well.
think that
But
would
Just see the bracelets flying, right?
Yeah, well, and you know, you'll have to have the animators on to talk about that.
It's
I
just
wonder
things
how
you-
many invisible people are here right now.
Every time you sit down and you feel something, oh, that, someone else is in. We're gonna go with the gentleman in the green, and then I see you.
I'm really honored to be here and watching all your job. I really like your part of your stories, like this. They were like really cinematic and dramatic. All this Justice League. And my question is, what do you think about these new stories and characters and kind of different types of your own characters, like new beginnings, or maybe like, for example, Poison Ivy, now it's in the comics, it's bisexual.
Yes.
So what do you think of these new adaptations?
So since you started, how, other media has changed
Right.
your characters. How do you like the changes in your characters that you've seen?
I actually have no opinion, basically because I did the voice for 9 years. After that, other people took over, other writers, other actors, et cetera, and so forth. I am getting people coming up to me at cons, though, that are trans or gay or have been closeted for years or whatever, and they're thanking me, like I had anything to do with it, for the new change with Harley and Ivy. But I think it's kind of fabulous, really. I mean, I think it's great. But I had nothing to do with it.
Well, yeah, but you're their contact point, so they're just
Exactly.
happy to see you. and
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start with there's been so many Supermans.
What is the latest iteration? I know
Well,
that
now-
he stopped saying truth, justice in the American way. Now it's truth, justice, and a better tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I guess it's,
Well, we got
that's,
the Tyler who's on the show. So he's on the Lois and the new Superman show that's on TV.
yeah, right,
We got
right.
Henry Cavill, who
Right.
as far as right now is still doing it.
Yeah, right,
Um,
right.
Brandon Routh, I think, was during your tenure, or was he right before?
I think it was just on the edge of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
so. Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got the Injustice situation where we've got Evil Superman.
Right, right.
And we've had the Red Sun. So,
There's a lot in there.
is there anything that's jumped out at you that you've really either appreciated or you've kind of went, ooh, I wish they'd gone another way?
No, you know what? I'm a little agnostic about it because it is sort of. I think the basic Superman is a cultural sort of touchstone, and he sort of stands for doing the right thing, and there's not a lot of gray area with him, and he's a protector, and he's a force for good. So some of these other things that happen around the side, sexuality or whatever, or maybe change the politics, is that's all, that's a reflection of the time, and maybe that stays or goes away, I don't know. But I'm a little agnostic on that. But I think the basic part of who Superman is never going to change. The other things will change around the side, and that's cool for the time. And I don't know if it'll stay. You don't know what pieces will stay forever. But the basic parts of these iconic, they're almost Greek. All these characters are classic Greek characters, and I think that will always be there. And the other things will happen. That's all. I've got no problem. Whatever.
Well said,
Yes.
George.
Any strong feelings either way, Dolores?
I don't think they've changed Hawkgirl at all.
I don't think they have.
Yeah.
I'm sure Bullock is still the same way, just, he's got blinkers on, he's not worrying about, he's old school and probably doesn't even know what a cell phone is, or, I'm sure he's not worried about the woke world or any of those things, and, he just moves along. I guess I haven't done the character in quite a while, so I don't know if they've actually added any changes.
Donnell,
You know.
Donnell, who's a great actor. Donnell, he played him in Gotham, played
Yeah.
Bullock,
So-
and he did a great job because he kind of same guy, kind of
Same guy, right.
slovenly, grumpy, doesn't really like
Ripped
technology.
me off and took all my money.
He didn't do the accent. He didn't do the accent.
No, he's Irish.
Yeah, but
We did the Irish guy, that guy. I wanted to do that guy, I told him. I might have got the movie.
I think you'd be happy with his depiction of Bullock, but
I should
You
see
must
it,
not know
yeah. I'm
actors.
sure he's wonderful.
yeah, he's great.
always have to
But
be
of course, we'll go with the.
It is always hard to watch someone do.
Of course.
You know,
Of course.
I remember when I first did The Odd Couple in dinner theater when I first started acting, I said, I'm better than Walter Matthau, actually. I said, objectively, I feel I'm better
I believe that.
And
I was
that's
sloppier.
true or not. That's something as an actor you've got to do. Otherwise, you're just going to be. You're hit with no and rejection so much as an
Yeah.
actor. That
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta
true.
Build yourself
It's
up
true.
when you can. So
Yeah.
I bet you are better than Walter Matthau.
Oh,
So,
Oh, no.
so Susan,
Different.
I think it's going to be
He was a
difficult
great
because I
actor.
think definitively, I think a lot of us agree as fans that Gal Gadot is wonderful as Wonder Woman. So seeing other depictions, how do you feel about Gal and Linda and all the other depictions you've seen?
I mean, I grew up with Linda Carter,
Right.
and I've met her several times. So, you know, there's a part of me that always feels like she's Wonder Woman. I've lucky enough to meet Gal and be on the set in Washington, D.C. when she flew in, that big scene where she flew, and I got to watch that. So she's extraordinary, and she's, again, I'll say this, I just think it's for the fans that she just is even there. I just think it's important that the fans have waited so long for a solo a solo Wonder Woman film. So now they've got their two, and they'll get their third. And I think, it was announced that there's a video game coming and all these other projects. And I think that it's so satisfying for the fans who've kind of been in the dark all this time, and for Wonder Woman herself to get into the limelight and to get some of, be in the cinema and do all these things. I think it's fantastic. As for the individual performances, I don't really follow too much in animation because it's hard to watch somebody else do it, quite frankly. But I think the more Wonder Woman, the better. Whether it's me or it's somebody else, I would prefer it to be me if it's animation. But if it can't be me, if the powers that be don't want it to be me, I just think it's good that there's a lot of Wonder Woman out.
Yeah, it makes me think of like when you break up with somebody and you kind of want to break up and it's amicable, but then you see him with the new girlfriend and you're like, oh, well, I'm happy for him.
Doing this behind.
Yeah.
I told you I'd come back to you.
You're awesome.
I am.
Just to kind of go back to what we were saying about how well-written and wonderful the characters were, and it was, had such an impact on a lot of people. Just recently, Young Justice came back. It was originally it just went for 2 years, and they said the reason it went out was because of toy sales. But the fan had such a huge base that they were able to bring it back. My question is, like, as wonderful as Justice League and Justice League Unlimited was, why did it end? I mean, it was great. What caused the ending of it?
They never told us, did they?
No,
I'm not sure you're going to get your answer, but...
We won't get an answer because that's something that we're not going to be privy to. I mean, obviously, I think if Bruce Timm had wanted to continue, I think we would have continued. I think one of the reasons Justice League Unlimited was created was because it gave Bruce Timm a wider universe to play in, and he loved that idea. But we've all been very vocal about wanting to come back. I couldn't be happier for the Young Justice fans. I just wish that our fans would get our reunion. Yeah, and Andrea Romano said she would come out of retirement to direct us. Bruce Timm has said he would love to do it. We all have said many times, that we would be honored to revive these characters. And there's a hashtag,
What is the hashtag?
JL Reunion, that has been around. There are
Now.
social media accounts dedicated to that. It's the powers that be, and we have no way of understanding what's going on with them. But we're the ones on the front line. We're the ones meeting the fans. And we hear from the fans how much it's been a part of their childhood, and how when they read comics, they hear our voices.
My kids,
Right. So it's very, I can say this because I've been trying so long to get a reunion going, and it's been one of the biggest frustrations of my professional life, not seeing that happen, because the fans would love it, the actors would love it, Bruce would like it. So we just have to get Warner Brothers to see that there's value in it.
I wish that would happen,
Yeah, can you have your people call?
Yeah, and if I don't see, let's see, we got if I don't see 100 JL reunion hashtags today, it's your fault. It's not their fault, it's your fault. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Hey, can I get an answer, since you all work with him, can I get your best story for each of you about working with the late Ed Asner?
Ed Asner.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up on Mary Tyler Moore, and so working with Ed in the studio, I never, like, it's not like we hung out and we chatted. He wasn't really that guy. But I have to say, for me, having scenes with him where it was just me and Ed in scenes, that was glorious. I just pinched myself up that entire session that I got to read with him and got to be his scene partner. Now, he didn't know who I was, and he, you know, it's not like we talked after in the parking lot and bonded, but I will treasure that memory and that experience for the rest of my life. He brought so much to it, and he played a couple of different characters on the show.
Anybody else have any?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Ed for years. I did Lou Grant with him. I remember my family, my parents came out. He was wonderful, gracious to them. He's been always saying nice things about me, which makes me feel good. I mean, he's kind of like an avuncular character, and he's the real guy. And to me, he's maybe an underappreciated character actor of that genre. I put him with Durning and Ned Beatty and all those guys. Maybe even, I mean, his work in Roots, his power, I mean, and I think he was a great leader of the union.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
a wonderful, committed man. It was sad to see him deteriorate at the end, his mind, and you know, he was kind of in and out of it a little, but nobody like him. One of a kind on Noah's Ark for him. I always say that. There's nobody else like Ed. Yeah.
I did an interview show and he was on the panel. I don't remember having any scenes with him at all on Justice League, but of course, Mary Tyler Moore, Mr. Grant. And he's just, we grew up with him and he was so believable. And
Rich Man, Poor Man. And
yes.
They're all too young, but Rich Man, Poor Man.
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, oh, I forgot, with
Yes.
with Nolte, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was actually funny and warm to me, and just I'm so glad that I got to meet such an icon before he passed. It was
He was a
pretty
fighter. You know, he was a fighter. He wasn't afraid.
No.
You know, whether it was politics or union politics, he fought for the little guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was just so formidable in that regard. Yeah, huge, huge fan.
I'm gonna go with the one who looks like wearing a bra on your face, but go ahead. It's an interesting color.
Circling back to the Hawkgirl betrayal, not to pick on you or anything like that.
Yeah, she doesn't write the show, she just acts.
Did, I guess more so for Susan and George, did you guys talk about behind the scenes who voted her?
Oh, that's funny.
And
That's
who
great.
kept her in? Because I think as fans, we kind of have an idea of who voted her out.
What would be your idea? What would you think?
Wonder Woman definitely get out.
women are hard on each
I
other.
think the Trinity voted her out. That was my opinion on it. But I just want to know, as actors, how
We did talk about it.
Oh, we didn't talk about
But he wants to know.
Yeah.
it. You mean,
And so do I.
if the characters talked about it?
No, did we as George and
How you
Susan?
approach it,
I
I
didn't
don't know.
know if as actors you spoke about that.
No.
No, never. No.
Well, now, would you, I want to know now.
So we know Wonder Woman.
Go ahead, tell me to my face, I can
Tell
tell.
it to me, I can take it.
What would you have voted if you can vote for real?
Yeah, what are you talking
In?
about? Her out?
He's gonna keep me, see what I'm a single man.
I got a big family to take care of.
That's a great question.
That's right.
The two of them raised at the same time, so I'm gonna go with the younger guy.
Oh, ages
What is it
of.
with a
This is, it's for the kids.
But was there any scene that was left, scene, line, or moment that was left on the cutting room floor that you wish that could have been like
Ooh.
added into the episode?
How would we know?
I don't know.
Because you
Oh,
were
we
recording
read
it,
the
and it just didn't
script
show
and
up.
put it into green scene.
But usually with animations, they kind of got it all kind of planned out, so there's not a
Yeah,
lot of waste.
there was not a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
No.
that's true, that's
And
true.
we had nothing to do with that. I mean, we did the voice, and then afterwards, everything else came. And so we wouldn't know. I
Yeah,
mean,
if we read the script and then we saw the episode and that scene wasn't in there is what he means.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know that.
I didn't notice anything.
Because we saw the episode so much later after we had recorded them, so we wouldn't have that kind of memory.
Yeah.
So,
Or I wouldn't anyway.
I obviously made a big mistake going, I went with the wrong guy.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, now that I remember, there was that romance I had with Superman.
There you go.
And we just didn't click. He wasn't like green enough for me, you know what I mean? So I had to go on, you know, once you go green,
Hey
you
now,
never
hey
go
now.
back. So,
You know, poison ivy's very green, darling.
so is your question better than his?
I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
So, at the end of the movie Brightburn, they kind of teased the evil Justice League. Would you have been interested if they made a cartoon that would you be interested in voicing those?
Like Justice Lords?
An evil Justice League.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's work. We'll take
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah.
These are
It'd be fun.
actors you're talking to, not real superheroes. We'll take it, it's a gig.
Right up
Plus it'd
front.
be exciting, different.
Hi, what was it like working with Andre Romano in those legendary group reports?
Oh,
Oh, yeah. You go ahead, Diane.
heaven.
Yeah.
Total heaven. Andrea is the perfect director. She let you create, but she was very firm in where she wanted you to go. We recorded like the old radio days. We
Right.
recorded all of us in the same room.
Like in the semicircle.
Exactly, with a music stand and our scripts here and
Right.
our own microphone here, and we could look at each other.
Extra.
And we could react to each other. and
Mark
we
Hamill
could-
used to stand up, remember?
He used to
All
stand
the
up,
time.
he was next to me on my right, and Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. was on my left, and I'm sitting, I mean, and there were everybody wanted to be on the show, you know, after a while it became a thing. So these famous people would come in, and I would go, I'm working with him today, oh my God, you know, they cast a lot of theater people in these roles.
Yeah.
All of us were theater trained, all of us. And so we really acted, and that was a joy. Yeah, I'm a little emotional about this.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would ditto that. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It felt like you were doing a little mini play and like a radio play, and you had a sense of communicating. You weren't like isolated, you know, in a booth somewhere in
Right.
some cyberspace. You know, you were actually being able to give and take. So it was
Great
a lot of
question,
fun.
thank you.
Aside from knowing how to direct, her personality is very
Yes.
warm,
Yeah.
friendly, affable, likes actors, full of energy, has an easy laugh. You never feel insecure around her. She
Yeah.
naturally makes you feel very comfortable. Team player, we're in this together. Let's have fun, guys. It's not phony.
Nope.
She's authentic, and that's why we all have these great stories about her. She knows her thing, and she has the perfect personality to do what she does.
But she's also very decisive.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing. Yeah, and yet you never feel like, even if you don't quite hit something the way she wants you to, you never feel, I failed. You feel like
I did constantly.
she was very encouraging to help you get there, you know?
Yeah.
And she'd tweak it, and she just knows how to deal with actors. I think she was an actress, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Nicholle, you were much younger than everybody.
Yes.
How is it to work with all of these folks as a 14-year-old when you have legitimate adults that you're peers with?
I don't think I was 14. I was a little bit older than that. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
But you were.
But yes, I was the young one. I was nervous, you know, like whenever I got the scripts, I was always so excited. I was like, oh yay, I'm in another one, and really excited to read them. And working with everybody, it was a dream. I mean, it was so much fun, and it did feel like doing a play, and it was so relaxed, and it was like we were in a musical almost, when we got to really play and have I mean, when there was like hubbub or like a fight scene or something, we got to do different parts and like be like the background. Do you remember that?
The Walla Walla, they
The
call
Walla
it.
Walla, and it was so much fun to just like make up stuff that would be going on because we didn't know what was going to be seen. We were just like, okay, you're in this cave right now, and there's all these people.
Right, and she'd be there conducting it, and then at the
Yeah.
end it would just be like,
It's
you know,
true.
cut us all off.
Exactly, like an orchestra.
You know, in a good acting job is so much fun, you can't believe it. And then the other ones are not quite so much fun.
My last question, we'll just go down the road this way, start with Susan, just go, what is the, it's because it's superheroes. So there's a lot of weird things going on in the script, on the show. What's the weirdest thing your character either had to say or do that you want to like, really? Oh, okay. Because it's, I mean, you're dealing with aliens, you're dealing with magical creatures. Is there anything that, any like thing you had to like say or a noise you had to make or?
Well, noises for sure.
Yeah.
Noises for
Grunts.
sure. The grunts and all of that, the electrocution, you know, you're pulling yourself up a mountain, all of that was just like, okay. But I think it was just more about, you know, you had a lot of scenes that grounded you also. As crazy as it was and wild and wacky to be a superhero, you also had these really intimate, wonderful scenes with all of us, you know, with Martian Manhunter and quiet scenes and flirty scenes with Batman, #WonderBat. And, you know, so I think like you had all of it. So, you know, was it crazy like saying to George, okay, I'll meet you up at the, you know, watchtower? Yeah, you know, but it was everything. It was that, and then it was also like talking about missing home with Martian Manhunter. And so what I loved about the show was that we were like these full characters, you know, who were bigger than life and then just living life. And we got to do all of that. So as, you know, yes, I'm like punching somebody and taking a punch and all of that, and then again, I'm in the cafeteria at the Watchtower or sitting with Hawkgirl or Flash, you know, so it was everything.
I just want to know who works at the cafeteria.
Yeah, exactly.
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
How do you get that gig?
What was your question?
Was there anything fun, weird that you had to say that you thought was like, what, I mean, 'cause Bullock,
As Bullock or as another character?
whatever you like.
The weirdest character I ever played, I don't know. Now, a lot of you people are like, you've seen all the, are you, any of you Family Guy?
Yeah.
Love
The
Family.
weirdest character I ever played, and I still don't know if it's ever been shown, because I think it got blocked, because he goes out there, Seth. I had to do the voice of Katie Holmes's vagina. True. That is true. That is a true story. So needless, I won't tell you what my method preparation was for that. However, I had to do it. Seth wanted me. I said, "What are you looking for here, Seth?" He says, "Just do you real loud, Bobby, really." Essentially, it was Holmes and Tom Cruise having an intimate dinner, and I was sort of down below there yelling, because there was some implication that they weren't involved in the intimate way that couples often are.
I think so.
Just trying to be,
So what Bobby's trying to say is.
yes,
It's really fun watching him dig this hole. Go ahead.
yes. Very interesting metaphor.
Interesting,
I don't know if you realize that.
Greg has stepped in it.
You stepped in it quick.
visual.
No, but basically he had me yelling, you know, when are you going to pay a visit down here? And what am I, an orphan? And, but I guess as Bullock, when I did the, you know, we finally get to see a little bit about his life in A Bullet for Bullock, when he grudgingly had to admit that, you know, Batman wasn't a bad guy because he saved me. So, you know, and then I went on to, you know, completely hate him in further episodes. But for a while there, I had to give him, I mean, he did save my life. And kept the character going. So I guess.
I'm afraid to keep going down the line. I wasn't expecting that from
That's
you.
hilarious. I wish I had to be Tom Cruise.
We'll be back in a
Come
minute,
on, don't
ladies
be
and
glib.
gentlemen.
I love Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
who doesn't?
When you asked that question, I just thought, well, it was a little like funny to me, but I can't be, I have to take it seriously when when he and I are talking about how compatible we are, Green Lantern and Hawkgirl. And I'm like,
I didn't like
Sure.
it. Didn't like it.
Sure.
No, I didn't, what? No, I didn't, this is not something weird, just something technical that was hard for me. I had a tough time distinguishing between getting punched and taking a punch. Getting punched and giving a punch.
Yeah.
And then, a lot of times Andrea would just say, that sounds like I'm using the restroom. So I was like, well, what's,
All those impact
like,
sounds.
I'm like, okay, no, you're hitting, you're not in the bathroom. So those are the things, those drove me crazy. Just drove me crazy.
More fiber for Superman.
More fiber for Superman.
I don't remember anything from that show that gave me any pause particularly, but I did a video game once and I was a dying dragon, and I had to die something, and this is not an exaggeration, something like 25 or 30 ways.
Right.
Sounds that I had to make dying.
Yeah.
Shorter
That's not
sounds,
unusual, by the
longer.
way.
Yeah, that's what we do when we
In video
do
games
video games.
especially.
You know.
And after a while, you just.
But after, and also, after a while, my throat goes, those kind of things. And your throat starts getting crazy, and you can't come up with new things, and you start to, and so, but it's also fun, like I said. So that's all I could come up with.
That's right. And last one?
I hate being the last one here because
No pressure.
Say the last one.
I can't think of anything that I
Which
didn't
vagina
love.
did you play?
I told the Katie Holmes story.
Mine was.
That's what.
that is hilarious.
Hashtag me too, moderator. How
It's okay.
You're fired. I love every minute of every moment. So.
Well, they can take it
Playing
out.
and playing any part.
You're great.
That was
But
She's very young.
please give a warm and gracious
Thank you.